Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I will be reviewing Utada Hikaru's newest album, Hatsukoi. Before we get started, I want to remind you that this is simply my opinion on the album, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more. Less than 2 years ago, Utada Hikaru made a long-awaited comeback to the music scene with Phantom, an album that I absolutely adored back then and still love a lot right now. So you can imagine that the wait for Hatsukoi was quite tough, because back then we were not sure if she was going to release a new album or just songs, and turns out we barely waited 2 years for this new album to come out after a string of singles released last year and this year, and here we finally are. Hatsukoi is an album that feels very different from Phantom, to say the least, but still quite close to her discography, and the way the album experiments, the boldness and sometimes silliness of some songs isn't without reminding me of albums like Ultra Blue or Heart Station. I would almost dare to say that this album feels like good old Utada Hikaru before a break, and it only confirms how special Phantom is in her discography as a musical standpoint. Now, let's talk about Hatsukoi, and before we get started, just as a FYI, there is a song-by-song review out on the channel as well, so if you want to know how I personally feel about each song, feel free to check it out, as this main review right here is mostly my general point of view on the album, so if some of you haven't listened to the album yet, there's no spoilers for you. So, Hatsukoi had many songs released prior to this release. We had Osora de Takishimete, Forevermore, Anata, Play a Love Song, and Hatsukoi, which is a lot, but we still have 7 songs that we barely know anything about, and the album is actually quite long. It goes close to the 1 hour mark, and there's a lot to digest in this one. Like I said before, this album experiments a lot, and you can't deny that it feels good to witness an artist like Hiki, who does exactly what she wants with her music, and that allows us to witness some choices that can seem unexpected, like on the songs Pakuchi no Uta, or Yunagi, or even Too Proud. You can almost get an insight into her thinking process on those songs and get a sense of Hiki as a person, which I believe is quite rewarding, and even if you are not convinced by the creative direction taken here, I think we can at least respect the boldness of Hiki for not compromising her musical identity to please the masses. And she does please a lot on this album. I mean, the songs already out as digital singles were all a hit for me, and even Forevermore grew more on me, and especially as part of the album, it fits right in quite well. This album feels less straightforward than Phantom, and for me that meant that I had to listen to it more times than usual to really get a sense of it, which isn't something that happens often, because I feel the album takes some turns and twists that you don't necessarily expect from Hiki, or at least not in the way we were used to, especially when the songs released as singles were more straightforward than most of the songs from this album, and that can be a bit hard to digest at first, but the more I listened to the album, the more I started to appreciate each song, and the album as a whole is quite satisfying. Hatsukoi feels like an album that embraces Utada Hikaru's musical past, while also embracing the present and future altogether in a way that only she can do. I feel like this album might be a little bit more polarizing than the previous ones. At least it did at first with me, even though there's a lot of amazing tracks on it, and you can tell there's so much passion coming from Hiki on a songwriting level, and even vocally she still stays on top of her game and moves forward as an artist in a way that you don't get to witness every day. But this album is not flawless, and I had some issues with some songs that I will elaborate on the song-by-song review. But for now, I give this album 4 stars. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to check out my song-by-song review of the album, the link will be down below. And don't forget to tell me what you think of the album, and I'll see you next time.